a hadith reported in the Sunan of At-Tirmidhi, our Prophet ﷺ said, in fact Ibn Abbas narrated, that I was sitting with the Prophet ﷺ on an animal, and he said to me, Ya ghulam, oh young boy. Ibn Abbas was the cousin of the Prophet ﷺ. At the time this hadith is happening, he is probably 11 years old, 12 years old. So the Prophet ﷺ is giving him advice. He says, Ya ghulam, oh young child, oh young boy, Inni u'allimuka kalimat. I'm going to teach you some words, some wisdom that will benefit you. And this also shows that the Prophet ﷺ always took advantage of his time. He didn't waste any time. He was going from point A to point B. He had with him his cousin Ibn Abbas. They were riding the same animal. And the Prophet ﷺ is taking advantage of that, teaching him. This also shows us that the Prophet ﷺ did not trivialize the age of Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas was 11 years old. 11 years old is good enough to understand. And I have said many, many times, one of our problems, we treat adolescents and teenagers as if they're like little children. And if you treat them like adults, they'll act like adults. Ibn Abbas was being given a very, very profound piece of advice, despite the fact he had not even reached puberty. So the Prophet ﷺ said, oh Ibn Abbas, I'm going to teach you some phrases, memorize them, perchance you will benefit from them. And it's a beautiful hadith. It's reported also in Ibn Rajab's collection as well, and in Nawawi's 40 hadith as one of the standard collections. What is this hadith? Number one, احفظ الله يحفظك. Protect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will protect you. I.e., protect the commandments of Allah. Follow the commandments of Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect you. You want Allah to take care of you, follow His commandments, and Allah will do that. احفظ الله يحفظك. Number two, احفظ الله تجده تجاهك. Guard Allah and you will find Him in front of you. I.e., protect the commandments of Allah, and wherever you go, whatever you do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be there. احفظ الله يحفظك. احفظ الله تجده تجاهك. And the Prophet ﷺ then said, وَإِذَا اسْتَعَنْتَ فَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ وَإِذَا سَأَلْتَ فَاسْأَلِ اللَّهِ. If you're going to get help from anybody, get help from Allah. And if you're going to ask for help from anybody, then ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't beg the people. Don't become somebody who's always knocking on doors asking for favors. Put your tawakkul in Allah and ask Him directly. Do not become a burden upon other people. Be self-sufficient. Do what you need to and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he said to him that وَإِذَا اسْتَعَنْتَ فَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ وَاعْلَمْ أَنَّ النَّصْرَ مَعَ الصَّبْرِ. And know that victory only comes after patience. وَاعْلَمْ أَنَّ النَّصْرَ مَعَ الصَّبْرِ. Know that victory only comes after patience. We're undergoing a severe trial right now. Islamophobia is rampant in this world. We have pressure being put on us. Nasr will only come after sabr. We have to put in the clockwork. We have to put in the time. We have to show Allah we deserve His help. وَاعْلَمْ أَنَّ النَّصْرَ مَعَ الصَّبْرِ. Allah's help will only come after you demonstrate patience. Therefore, patience means you will suffer, you will be tortured, things are going to happen you don't like. That's what patience is about. Allah's nasr only comes after sabr. وَأَنَّ الْفَرَجَ مَعَ الْكَرْبِ. And Allah's victory only comes after the calamity. You have to taste the bitterness of calamity before the sweetness of victory will be given to you. Victory will not be handed on a silver platter. And the entire seerah of the Prophet ﷺ is demonstrative of this. If Allah were to bless victory to any man without lifting a finger, it would be to our Nabi and our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. But look at how much he had to suffer. Look at the persecution in Makkah. Look at the battles of Badr and Uhud and Ahzab. Look at what he lost and who he lost. His father, his mother, his uncle, his grandfather, Khadija, 3 of his daughters, all of his children other than one. This is the sunnah of Allah, that He will test and try us before the victory comes. وَأَنَّ الْفَرَجَ مَعَ الْكَرْبِ. And Allah's victory will only come after you have tasted the bitterness of defeat, the bitterness of calamities. And وَأَنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. And with every difficulty there will be ease. There's no such thing as full difficulty. Every time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts you in a situation, puts you in a calamity, then He will also send down certain things that will make life easy for you. وَأَنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Along with difficulty, there will also be ease. Allah never reveals a difficulty except that it is surrounded by ease. And this is mentioned in the Quran, إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا. For every one difficulty, at least two, if not more, ease will come down. So this is a consolation. Yes, in order for Allah to bless you, you have to be patient. Yes, for victory to come, you have to taste the bitterness of calamity and defeat. But realize, with every bitterness, with every difficulty, with every pain, there will also be ease that will be granted to you. Look at the bright side. Know that Allah will never burden you with more than what you can bear. And then He said a beautiful phrase, وَاعْلَمْ أَنَّ الْأُمَّةَ لَوْ اجْتَمَعَتْ. Know that if this whole world gathered, عَلَى أَنْ يَنْفَعُوكَ بِشَيْءٍ لَنْ يَنْفَعُوكَ إِلَّا بِشَيْءٍ قَدْ كَتَبَهُ اللَّهُ لَكَ وَاعْلَمْ أَنَّ الْأُمَّةَ لَوْ اجْتَمَعَتْ عَلَى أَنْ يَضُرُّوكَ بِشَيْءٍ. The opposite. Know if this whole world gathered to benefit you, they would not be able to benefit you except if Allah had already decreed it and it was destined for you. And if this whole world gathered to harm you, they would not be able to harm you unless Allah had already decreed it for you. In other words, why fear mankind? Why fear the unknown when Allah is Allam al-Ghuyub and Allah is in control of everything? Mankind, the dangers out there, nothing can happen to you unless Allah has decreed it. You are under Allah's protection. Why worry? Why be sad? Why grieve? Why panic? Allah is in control. Know if this whole world were to gather to harm you or to benefit you, nothing could happen unless Allah had already decreed it. And the ending of the hadith is so powerful, it has become a phrase in Arabic, a method, an example, a parable. Arabs use it in common speech now. رُفِعَتِ الْأَقْلَامُ وَجَفَّتِ الصُّحُفِ. The pen has been raised and the ink has dried. In other words, Allah's qadr is going to be effective. Not you, not your enemies, not the people that help you. No one has any power other than Allah. So why should your heart worry and grieve? Put your trust in Allah, put your yaqeen in Allah, and know that whatever happens, it is Allah's qadr. So therefore your heart should be attached to Him. Don't fear the creation. Don't put your hope in the creation. All of the creation could not benefit or harm you unless Allah had already decreed it. What a beautiful, simple hadith. And I want to go over it again in English so that you understand. Oh ghulam, oh young boy, I'm going to teach you some words, so memorize them. Perhaps you will benefit from them. Guard Allah, and Allah will protect you. Guard the commandments of Allah, and you will find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in front of you. If you ask anyone, don't ask other than Allah. If you seek help from anyone, don't seek help other than from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And know that victory only comes after patience. And know that Allah's aid only comes after the calamity has come. And know that for every difficulty there will be ease. And know that if this whole world gathered to harm you, they couldn't harm you unless Allah had decreed it. And if this whole world gathered to help you, they could not help you unless Allah had decreed it. The pen has been lifted and the ink has dried. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who benefit from this hadith and put our trust and tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.